G'day, welcome back for another week at the For Your Reference podcast. Hopefully you guys are well. And unless you want to, Oti is our doctore and he's going to be kind with the phrase this week.
Yes, so I've decided to go Latin this week.
Oh, fancy.
And the phrase goes like this. Thus always to tyrants.
Well, tyrants usually come in the brand of oppressed. So I'm going to say if you're oppressed and you choose to not want to be oppressed anymore, you're going to meet an untimely fate.
No, it's pretty much the opposite. Like the tyrants meet a brutal end. And fun fact, apparently John Wilkes Booth said this before he assassinated Abraham Lincoln. And before Julius Caesar was murdered, someone uttered this.
And because you're not a psychic, KT and all of the KT warriors will uprise and revolt against you, sir. Because I for damn sure got that correctly. Let's move on to the show, guys. It's a good one, I promise. Hey friends and Jupiter cock lovers, it's For Your Reference. And you've got your host Katie.
And Oti.
And you need to strap in or strap on because we's about to get into it, guys.
What are we doing today?
We are covering the star's phenomenon, Spartacus. This is an all-encompassing show, you know, the little show that could. And if you haven't listened to Spartacus, we will not, like the king, deflower you, reverse prima noctis in spoilers. So please, if you have not watched Spartacus, it is our responsibility, aside from drinking responsibly, to also listen responsibly. If you have not watched Spartacus, we have Game of Thrones, which is, you know, it'll break you in. It will get you ready for the penetration of the show that is Spartacus. Okay? Go and listen to our other episodes and then you can come back. Let's get into it. Are you throbbing? Are you ready, OT?
Oh, I am ready. I'm ready.
So, this was the most successful Stars show at the time. It had a different show which I think was called Crash.
Yep.
But it didn't really do so well. And Spartacus really just burst out of the
Catapulted
seams,
it to a new level.
if you'll pardon the erection. Definitely. So let's go into it. Hopefully you've watched Spartacus, but let's give a little bit of a background. It is an American television series that did come out of the Stars network, but most of it was filmed in New Zealand.
Oh,
So, hi, some of our New Zealand listeners and also our Australian listeners. Just like me, I actually enjoyed seeing some of the actors because I actually recognized some of them. I'm like, oh, Ramsay Street is quite problematic at the moment. I didn't realize there were so many titties and dicks in Ramsay Street. That's a Neighbours reference, guys.
yeah, I think everyone's aware about Ramsay Street.
I think, right, it's either Home and Away or Neighbours, and
Yeah.
you only watch one. You
I
didn't
was on
watch both.
telly. It was on telly throughout growing up, and I'm pretty sure I started off with Home and Away, and then got bored of that.
They had beaches.
Neighbors had
Titties.
Hannah and Billy and Lou Carpenter. Oh my god, I remember the characters. But yeah,
Right?
far
And
out.
this is off the cuff. I don't know if I should be aroused or scared.
No, I just grew up watching it a lot.
I think
so
we were just predestined to be together
pretty much.
because I look like Lou Carpenter. Okay, so Spartacus premiered in January of 2010 and it concluded in 2013. I guess before we even get started, we do just want to lay our respects for Andy Whitfield and his family. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah. Rest in peace. That was really sad. I don't think any actor's death has ever affected me as much as Andy's did.
Right?
Just because it was a time in my life where it was really, really shaky, and I watched Spartacus a lot.
It was a nice
and
escapism.
It did.
wasn't it?
It really was. It really
Yeah.
was. And yeah, rest in peace. Rest in
Yeah.
peace.
Very unfortunate, but in Hollywood, or wherever they say the show must go on. So Spartacus aired from 2010 to 2013. You've got Blood and Sand, Gods of the Arena, Vengeance, and also War of the Damned. You know what's funny?
Yeah.
With the creators, Stephen DeKnight, between seasons 2 and 3, they were actually planning on releasing a feature film.
Oh.
But then the amount that they would have to cut out to avoid an NC-17 rating, they were like, nah, fuck it. Fuck it with Jupiter's cock. Like, don't even bother. What's the point, right? But there you go. But yeah, if you've watched Spartacus, Andy Whitfield, his performance was so genuine. I think is the best word.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and even leading up to this episode, because you've watched the series quite a few times, and I've watched it a couple of times all the way through. I didn't realize how jarring the Australian accents were, especially in the first episode.
The first time I watched this, I didn't realize a lot of them were Australians.
Because it's kind of neutral. Like, I think even you say with me, unless I get like really excited or really angry, that's when my full-on bogan.
Hey, pass the popcorn, mate.
I don't know whose bedchambers you're laying with, but it's not mine.
Mate, that's your proper Australian accent. Don't deny it.
Not in mine household. I would rather you have a mistress than you say that that's my accent. How dare you?
Recording your podcast tonight, eh?
Oh, wow. How dare you? How dare you besmirch my accent in mine household?
You know yourself.
I will not have that. And you see, guys, if you've listened to our episodes before, welcome. Our foundations have been crumbling since episode 1. If it's your first time listening, we welcome you to sit on our Jupiter's cock as we continue.
And this is not us being vulgar. We are pretty much just lifting the script from Spartacus.
Right?
Yep.
So good. So good. But let's continue. So for all of those ancient historian fans, and I know there are quite a few fellow potties that we follow that are historical, come and fight me, because it will be as accurate as my high school education will take me, and also Wikipedia and our knowledge repository, IMDb. So come and fight me. All tits blazing. I will fight you. But this does cover the history, in inverted quotes, loosely,
yes,
right, of the Thracian gladiator Spartacus, and that might not even be his name, right? And his name was never uttered throughout the series. And there was sorry, we will get into the series, but in the first episode, we were in the barracks, and Crixus starts to haze, I think is the word. He starts to haze Spartacus, and Spartacus is like, my name is...
It doesn't matter what your name is!
I fucking love Manu Bennett. Fucking hell, man.
Manu Bennett is everything.
He is everything.
Until Naevia comes into the picture, but that's a different story. But
Don't mess with my Crixus. I'm gonna be the one to break it to you.
I feel like if it was that Naevia, Crixus would have just given up looking for her ages ago.
Jagged Edge will be in the background.
Yeah.
So, based on the Thracian gladiator Spartacus, who from 73 to 71 BCE led a major slave uprising against the Roman Republic, departing from Capua. Can I just say, as an ancient history fan, and again, I might not be accurate, so, come and fight me. But I really, every time we were learning, even the Battle of Thermopylae, popularly known as 300, right? I always saw the Romans as the man. All of these Greek nations are trying to fight against, or even the Gaul nations and also the Thracians. I was never about that Roman life, can I just say?
Yeah, it's quite, I don't know, I was quite intrigued.
Yeah, but I also
I feel like society has gone backwards.
We're not going to get into any theological debates, but that whole spreading of Christianity and Catholicisms, I wasn't about that life. But anyway, there we go. That's where we are in this history, in this time of life. Capua is mainly where it's set. So you have Spartacus being transported into there mainly as a slave, and then he starts to rise through the barracks as a gladiator. So let's go through the cast. What a talented, outstanding, all-encompassing group of thespians.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not my Aussie accent, is it?
Oh, fuck off. Do you see? For your reference, listeners? Just at the point of climax, OT has to ruin it. He just has to ruin it. So we've talked about Andy Whitfield portraying Spartacus. Also in the later seasons, we have Liam McIntyre, which I kind of had qualms, but that's my own thing that I need to reconcile. So we will get to that when we start talking about the characters. We have Manu Burnett. We fucking love you, man. If you ever want to be on our podcast, or if you ever just want to come over here and have a hangi, all of the New Zealand listeners will understand. We'll dig up a hole in our apartment and you can come over. He plays Crixus, a Gaul, who is the reigning champion at the time of the series. And we will come to everyone, but let's try and get through all of the characters that we have here. We have my lady love, my queen that visits my nether regions, Lucy Lawless, playing Lucretia.
What the fuck was that?
That was for all of our Xena fans.
Yeah.
See, even Theo, our dog, he was shaking his body in excitement.
I don't think I'll watch Xena Warrior Princess. Not I don't think. I didn't watch it.
You need to leave. You need to log off from this conversation.
I don't know. Was it that big?
How dare
Because I've heard of Xena before. It's not like I'm living in a bubble. I've heard of Xena, but I've not watched it.
You know what? It's one of those things because in Australia, we are our own island and we're also our own continent. So sometimes we think that celebrities are big and they're actually just Australian big. So Kylie Minogue, you've heard of her.
Yep.
Have you heard of John Farnham?
I didn't until I came here because everyone speaks of John Farnham here.
Exactly. So you see what I mean? But I do feel like Xena Warrior Princess was international because Lucy Lawless is like top billing in like conventions with all of the nerds that are splooshing over her.
And
the non-nerds.
I don't dispute that at all. She is great. She's a great actress and kudos to her, but Xena never crossed the Indian Ocean for us.
Do you remember?
Or at least for me.
Do you remember Hercules?
I do remember
Fuck
Hercules.
you. Because Hercules came from Xena. Fuck you. Okay. OT can't hear this. All of the Xena Warrior Princess fans, I will start a petition and we'll meet in the parking lot at 5 p.m. across the solstice. Solstice?
Solstice.
Fuck off. You can fuck right off.
It's that accent, mate.
So you know Hercules, but you don't know Xena?
No,
wow.
I don't.
What a state of affairs. Let's move on.
So Hercules is from Xena.
You need to stop.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I will turn this fantastical ship around. How dare you? I thought I knew. You think you know a person, guys. But wow. How dare you? How dare you? Let's talk about Doctore Onomaeus.
Oh.
Played by Peter Menta. Actually, let's not talk about him. Well, let's just talk about the cast because that's where we're up to.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten very far. And can I just say, I do have dispute and I do have qualm with IMDb. I will fight you. Where is Buddy Artist in this top billing? Let's continue. Asher actually comes up before Buddy Artist. How dare they, right?
He plays a pivotal role.
Nick E. Tarabe. Who I don't really know if he was in Australian screens. He was born in Lebanon, but I guess we'll need to check out his work. He was in, I think, Arrow later on. So I don't really know where he's kind of based, but there you go. We have Viva Bianca playing Alithia. She was gross.
Yeah.
She was fucking gross. Let's continue. They have some newer people in the series, but I want to try and capture the OGs. We have Dustin Clare playing Gannicus.
And Gannicus was really, really, really good.
I fucking loved him.
Yeah.
Like, he was everything to me. If Spartacus wasn't there, my panties would be thrown at Gannicus.
Yeah, Gods of the Arena was really good.
Talking back in ancient times, I wouldn't have had many panties. So I would have to ration my panties.
I don't think anyone wore panties then. Everyone in the stadium was just, woo!
Hey man, I'm a fancy bitch. So if you get my panties, you are most welcome. I'll even keep it there for a few days so you can get the funk.
Oh, wow.
There is a market for everything, babe.
Yeah, clearly.
I know what you do.
I'm not sure what patron you started that sells used undies, but, you know,
no, it's
whatever.
It's watching you do the washing. I know what you do. And there was a whole lot of people I missed, but whatever. I want to get to my man, Butty Artist, played by John Hannah. Drop mic. There's most of your cast right there. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about first impressions, how you came across Spartacus. Did you have a love for ancient history, how you came across it, and, what were the feels, what were the bodily fluids that were ejaculating out of you?
So I wasn't a major fan of ancient history.
Boo. Again, log off.
But my sister recommended the show to me.
Wow. See, we've talked about your family sitting around and watching sexual shit. This just perpetuates it, but continue.
Well, I watched this alone, so it was really, really, really good. I think I was... What?
I don't know.
What? I watched it alone.
Upon recommendation from your sister.
Yeah.
All right. Good on you. Jog on, my friend.
It's not like we're both there staring at Lethia or whatever in the first 5 minutes of the show.
I have no words. You have stumped me, sir.
But anyway, it was...
You cannot but anyway that. For anyone that enjoys morbid shit, go back 30 seconds, but continue.
I was really, really intrigued by the first episode. I wasn't sure that I would stick with it for so long. And I think there were a few episodes in between that, before Spartacus truly found himself, that I was struggling with the pacing of it. And this is the first time watching it.
Yeah.
So...
Did you watch it when it first came out in 2010?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, I watched it after the first season had already finished. So somewhere in 2010, after the whole season had finished, got the whole series and just binged it.
Yeah.
But I did struggle with the pacing in the first season. But after sticking with it for a few, and I was just blown away once everything just started to click in, and all the writing and there was just a lot of payoff.
I think you're dead wrong, because I felt like the first season was great.
I'm just talking about the first time I watched this, and...
Oh, sorry. Am I supposed to respect your opinion? Good joke.
Anyway, after that, it just went from strength to strength, and I've rewatched this. Like, I'm not sure about the numbers, but I feel like in between 8 to 10 times.
because we're all friends here, I just do want to clarify. When OT says he's rewatched it, he's got an Excel spreadsheet of all of the sex scenes, and that's what he's watching. Who doesn't?
Well, you can't blame me, can you?
Well, to be fair, like we talked about earlier, it is about escapism, right? And credit to Spartacus, because unlike Game of Thrones, there was a lot of sex scenes earlier in the series, but they continued that through the whole series.
Yeah, they did.
One of my favorite... Don't you love this? We haven't even talked about characters, but we're talking about sex scenes now. One of my favorite sex scenes was between Andy and Alethea.
Oh,
the delicious revenge, but also just the whole aesthetics of it all.
Yeah, it was,
because he was like a golden god.
Yeah,
yes,
went the whole
please.
9 yards for it. Yeah,
Stick your dick in me, sir. Apparently, Andy Whitfield didn't even. That wasn't his real dick. He wore a fake dick. He's never done full frontal. Because I think it would just be too much for everyone to take in, if you'll pardon the pun. I think that was one of my favorite sex scenes, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other, but yeah, that really did stand out.
The only
And
other
also
thing,
just because of what it meant in the storyline as well.
and she was loving it. She was getting that Thracian dick, and she was not looking back.
Well, she was thinking of Manu Bennett when that was happening, Crixus. So
You reckon?
yeah, she thought she was sleeping with Crixus.
But even their physiques were quite different.
They're quite different, yeah. She's quite stupid.
Objectively, because I do love you, OT, and you're
even the complexion. But then again,
wow. They were painted in gold, dude.
Oh yeah, weren't they?
Or are you saying their golds are of different
shades?
Clarity. There's cloud, clarity, and cut.
That's diamond.
Oh, fuck you. Can we call this Spartacus fuck you, OT? Fuck you in the ass.
Oh, we got a recommendation to listen to an OT bop, and that was lit.
And
sorry, not sure anyone says that anymore, but I'm trying to keep up with the trends.
Well, yes, and that was from the Cooking with Grief podcast.
Yeah.
So shout outs to Chris Squared, because they're both called Chris.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the OT bop is really, 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 really good.
Can I just say, as the social media director, executive, sorry, I added executive, I am offended because I am struggling on Twitter every day and OT gets the attention.
Everyone's got to do the OT bop.
Everyone wants a taste of the OT bop. I know. Shout out to the guys that made the OT bop. I don't think you'll ever hear this, but good for you guys. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Are you done talking about your best friends?
Yeah.
In Breton?
Yeah, it made me laugh. That was really great.
What else do we do? It's a wanking yourself sort of show, Spartacus. So let's get straight into it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We kind of derailed with sex scenes, but if you're telling me you didn't get a twinge in your nether regions, you's a liar. You's a damn liar. Go and watch the sex scenes, not on the bus. You can listen to for your reference, but I do warn you, you will be just as aroused as if you were watching a sex scene.
Ooh.
Do you hear our voices? Sploosh Mountain. Sploosh Mountain.
No one can deny that. Luke Carpenter.
You'll be Alf. Alf Stewart.
Alf's great.
From Home and Away.
Alf's great.
Actually, yeah, Alf looks better
Alf's
than Luke.
amazing.
Okay. Sorry for deceiving you guys. I know that we keep saying we're persons of color, but we're actually two old white men.
Indeed.
We're the sex dungeon.
But yeah, Spartacus starts off.
Let's talk about Spartacus, our favorite character, because I feel like we will spend a lot of time on him, and I definitely want to concentrate a lot of our intellectual banter into this.
All right. So Spartacus, Andy Whitfield's version,
yes,
was amazing.
Best. Yes.
So he had this je ne sais quoi that just oozed. You could really resonate with him as a person and what tribulations he was going through in trying to find Surah. I might not agree with how everything turned out when he was talking to Glaba and how all this revealed itself. But far out, man. He acted the hell out of this.
Oh yeah, totally. And aside from the Australian accents, as far as we understand, Andy Whitfield actually started as a model. And fucking hell, he stood out. If anyone is single, or if you're not, we're not judging. But if you're on those dating apps, we all know the tricks of putting in all of your hot friends so people think you're the hot one, but really you're the only uggo in the picture, right? Andy Whitfield stood out. He has a face that all of the women and the men want to sit on. Let's be real, right? Fucking amazing. What you didn't expect was the depth of acting.
Yeah, and I think this was his first role, right?
Major role.
Yeah, because he was found just in a like randomly in a coffee shop or something, and yeah, it was just
That's how it happens.
that's how it happens, and he
That's,
was amazing.
at least that's what you tell me. That's where you disappear every night.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find him. But how did you feel throughout the first season watching Andy navigate all the hardships that he'd come across, and what did that make you feel?
Whether you are living in 71 BCE or you are living in 2019, a big majority of you motherfuckers are basic as shit, right? And we might even fall into that category, right? But Spartacus, in this particular series, he was someone that was born to lead revolts. Sura was, if Helen of Troy was the face that launched 1,000 ships, Sura was the face that launched 1,000 revolts.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
and it's crazy. I think Sura has been shown a lot, especially in the first season, and the most bits I think are sex scenes with Spartacus and her.
Most of them were. And shout out to Erin Cummings because she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah. She beat it though, which is great.
She
Which
did.
is great.
And she did very well with it. I know we're kind of not talking about sex scenes, but hello, we're talking about Spartacus. So there's always some sort of sexual nature to it, or if not vulgar frivolity, right? When I think it was in the first episode as well, when Spartacus came back to Sura and they ran away and they were in some sexy sort of cave.
Yeah, they
getting it
pitched a
on.
tent somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, right? And then she woke up and he woke up and Glaber was there and she was being carried away. Can I just point out, though, that's real life, right? She had little titties, but you could see they were sliding off of her chest. Like, I'm just saying, I need to talk about this because we need to balance it out. For all of the dick talk that we talk about, being big tit energy, I need to make it very clear that it's nice. It's refreshing to see real ass titties. Yeah. I don't think you'll ever see hair on titties, which is quite natural, but we're not getting into that today.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mindy Kaling, because I think that was the first example I ever saw of someone openly talking about
hairy titties.
Yes. Mostly for brown people. I don't know. Hey, white titty listeners, let me know.
White titty listeners, eh?
Yes.
Fuck's sakes.
If you want, I'm talking about myself, but I don't know about white titties. So the White Titty Committee, KT would like to have a conference call. You can turn the video off, but I have pertinent questions. I feel like everything we say in this episode is a soundbite.
All right.
Let's go back to Spartacus.
Yes. So,
how did you feel? Because we do have other characters we need to go to, but Spartacus is obviously pivotal to this role. The Bringer of Rain.
Oh, yeah.
Is the most common title that he has, but it's also the Slayer of Theocles. And Theocles kind of ties in nicely with a lot of the champions of the Batiatus Ludus.
Yes. He is the one that really beat up Onomaeus and caused all the scars up on him.
But we'll come to Onomaeus in a second, right? Yeah. So let's talk about Spartacus, right? How did you feel? And obviously it couldn't be avoided. It was not that the actor didn't want to do it anymore. It was unfortunate reasons that Andy couldn't continue. Again, rest in peace, right? So Andy had to leave. And then you had Gannicus' season trying to make room for Andy to come back. Unfortunately, he couldn't. So, as a network, as creators, Stephen Estenite, the series had to continue. So they did cast Liam McIntyre.
Yep.
How did you feel? The first time you watched it, how did you feel the character changing?
I respected it. I feel like I took it more in the realms of no one is going to be as good as Andy was.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who would have been casted would have been below par.
Okay, I did not come from that reference, but yes, continue.
So them doing Liam McIntyre and the fact that Andy actually endorsed it as well just made it that more acceptable to me, at least. So I didn't have any qualms. He did a fine job with it. It took a while to just get used to him being Spartacus, but after 2-3 episodes, it was just sailing, and I'd accepted it.
Yeah, I think I just had a harder time. I had a harder time accepting Liam, and I don't even know how great his acting is because I just didn't give him a chance. If I'm being perfectly honest, I just didn't give him a chance. I am that crazy, obsessed sort of viewer. When I latch onto a series that I'm obsessed with, you can't just waltz in. And obviously he didn't. He had to audition, and it was a whole sort of thing. Apparently the role that Liam McIntyre had before Spartacus, he was severely underweight. So he had to bulk himself up during the boot camp. I don't know if you guys have any spare time and you want to have a little, tickling of your pickle, or if you want to have a tickle of your bean, look at the... Hey, it's 2019, right? We're an all progressive sort of podcast. You should watch the boot camps for Spartacus.
Yeah.
It's not just homoerotic. It's erotic in every sense of the word. But in any case, I do understand the work that was involved for Liam McIntyre to take on and fill the shoes that Andy had left for the Spartacus role, right? I understand that. But I don't know. There's just something about me that's hard to accept a new person, like a new person taking on that role. And again, he might have been the best person, but even to this day, I'm just like, like I know the show needed to continue, but it just didn't sit well with me.
Yeah, but then again, I
do want to give a shout out to the 1960 movie of Spartacus, because Kirk Douglas does play Spartacus quite well.
He does.
And going back to my ancient history class, we actually had my ancient history teacher. You know when you watch Dead Poet Society and you have that one teacher that defines your life? And if you're a fucking hoodlum, that teacher will really pull you up in line and make you want to make something of your life. Maybe not a podcast, but make something of your life. My ancient history teacher was that teacher. Right? And we actually watched that 1960 version of Spartacus with
What
Kirk
the
Douglas.
fuck? Did you actually go to school? What's with all this TV you watched in classrooms?
Okay, just because you were gathering firewood for your class.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Did you not need light?
We used those electricity, mate.
Kerosene lamps, maybe?
Wow.
Well, you need to bring it in because we have more South African listeners than Kenyan listeners. You need to recruit your people. Let's continue. But we watched that original Spartacus film, and I do just want to lay some respect for the 1960 film because that was quite impressionable to me, and I did enjoy that. What I particularly enjoyed was a scene where they were talking about where all the vital spots were for attack, and they were like painting the arrows onto the body so you could learn when you're in the phalanx or even when you're on your own where you need to strike for a fatal blow.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that movie, and we do need to keep that. But is there anything else you want to mention about Andy Whitfield or Liam McIntyre? Because unfortunately we do need to continue to other characters.
No, just credit to the creators because they did ask Andy's permission to continue with the show.
Yes, and obviously they might find an excuse to continue going, but
the fact that they actually did ask,
do that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the fact that they actually did ask for Andy's permission, just says it all about the cast and crew, how close knit they were doing this. It was a fun environment where they felt that if Andy wasn't right with this going on, then let's just shut down shop, and that's a good attitude to have. So respect to them. Not everyone would do this. We know the networks have a lot of pressure to deliver stuff, especially when a show like Spartacus had a lot of popularity and a lot of audience. It would bring them money. So the fact that they actually went out and said, hey, it's not our decision to make. If Andy's not all right with this, then we'll just stop the show here. And they're fine with that.
It makes you feel like there is some sort of humanity in the world.
Exactly.
Even though we're just talking about TV shows, but it's nice.
It is. is really
Any
nice.
moments of humanity you can get, whether it's in the Pornhub section of, I don't know if you saw this, but recently a guy was talking about going through a really tough time and he was dealing with depression, and people in the comment section was actually supportive of him.
On Pornhub.
Yeah, mid jerk off.
Oh, wow.
You're welcome.
That's nice.
I don't know if we need to censor that. Adulteroticsite.com.
I think it's fine. I think we see Pornhub on all memes now.
Yeah,
so
I know, but are they going to pay us?
Mate, Pornhub, eh? You wanted to take what's the name of the show on Netflix?
Sense8. Sense8 with your Kenyan people.
Oh yeah, they wanted to produce Sense8. You know, kudos to them.
And shout out to Pornhub, because whether you're with someone or you're not with someone, sometimes you just need to get it out.
Yep,
And
a hand is all you need.
A hand is all you need, or if it's long enough, a mouth is all you need.
I'm not sure a lot of people can contort their bodies like that, but you know.
Do you see Pornhub? You're welcome.
All right.
This is what a meeting would be like. All right, you started this. Let's continue. So we've talked about Spartacus. The only other thing I will add in through the IMDb trivia, they mentioned that Spartacus rarely swears. He probably wouldn't get along on our podcast then. It was mostly Crixus and Batiatus. I do have qualms IMDb, like I mentioned earlier, because I feel like Batiatus should be mentioned before Crixus. But, you know, let's continue.
Every word Batiatus said. He has to be the most quotable person in Spartacus.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. And I will bring those quotes up when we talk about Batiatus. And, I know we say this all the time, but I feel like there is so much that we need to cover in this series. So if any of you guys are interested in characters or themes that we aren't going to cover, because realistically we do try and keep it quite tight, if you're nasty, then let us know. And then we can put out a bonus, because Spartacus is my shit.
Yeah, it's one of the first shows that I rewatched like hell.
Oh, totally. And again, with your Excel spreadsheet of sex scenes.
Not even that. Just overlooking everything, the storyline, the action scenes. It was quite amazing. It was quite quickly written.
I will allow you. I might regret this. I will allow you. Who is the next person we're going to talk about?
Oh, it has to be Crixus. It has to be Crixus.
Let's do it.
So Manu, what does Manu do for you?
Realistically, as a Tongan, again, in the Pacific Ocean, and we hardly get any shout-outs, what, to my people, it was nice. It was nice to see brown faces, undeniably brown faces. Yes, we've got The Rock, but, he's been around for a long time, and he's not in everything aside from popular belief, because he's kind of infiltrated every being and every orifice we have. It was nice to see Manu Bennett, and I like how fucking confident he was. They mentioned he was from Gaul, which is France. So who am I to be historically accurate? I feel like he wouldn't be from France, looking at his skin tone. But we love you, Manu.
Well, then again, France dabbled around in a lot of regions.
A white person, Manu.
Yeah, so Crixus is Spartacus's arch.
He is the champion.
He is the champion.
Yes, he is the reigning champion at the time of the series. Yes,
and they don't get along with Spartacus until pretty much towards the end of the show, and it's just.
But that's very similar to Batiatus and Salonius. Your worst enemies are people that were your best friends because they know so much about you.
Yeah,
right?
But then again,
or you're so similar, which I felt like that was the dynamic with Spartacus and Crixus, because they were so similar, or at least they were both alphas, and there could only be one, right?
But then again, I would throw this argument out there that Spartacus would never have been champion if Crixus didn't give him the win.
But he also got injured as well.
Well, he pretty much gave him the win in the battle against Thessalonius.
Because he was titled as the undefeated Gaul.
Yeah. And after the battle, he was pretty much done. And Spartacus went from strength to strength to strength.
And it wasn't long after that he found Naevia.
Don't even get me. I liked Naevia at the start.
Are you trying to say, as a man in 2019, that women can be your downfall? Is that what you're trying to say to me?
Pretty much. Everything we've watched has women doing something to men and them turning into psychos or something and just going completely opposite of their personality to do shit that they wouldn't regularly do. Well, because we all know how this ended for Crixus. And it was pretty much down to Naevia being a dick.
I must say, his character development and the decline of his development was quite sad.
Yeah, it was sad.
He was earned more than that. And again, maybe historically that is correct. But for Crixus being such a strong champion, I really feel like it didn't do him justice. That wasn't fair.
Yeah, I don't think it was either. Like, how... Crixus was his own man, with his own beliefs, and he loved Naevia, fine, fair enough. I love you as well. But when she came down to it, if you're babbling on about unrealistic stuff that we should get done and trying to turn me against one of my buddies because you want to carry on this vindictive agenda that you have, mate, nah, that wouldn't work.
So I guess women are always the serpents. Is that what they mention in the Bible? Is it serpents?
Yes, serpents.
Out to get ya. That's me finishing. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe you need to secure your dick then. Why is it the women's fault? But anyway, we're not getting into that today. But Crixus, we haven't even talked about Crixus and Lucretia.
Oh, I think Crixus didn't have any feelings towards Lucretia. He was just fucking up for the sake. But
historically, it was very accurate that even within the barracks, you would have groupies that would go and make sure that the gladiators haven't showered so they could fuck them raw while they were dirty and stinky and all of that stanky ass.
I need to be a gladiator, don't I?
Mate, even with your stanky ass, you can get it.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
And that is the secret that you guys welcome. You're now part of the secret. You might not be a part of the fucking, but you're a part of the secret.
In Rome, you would have been part of the fucking, so,
Who was that old, disgusting man that kept setting up those fucking orgies?
Oh, I remember that.
We'll look it up. But he was fucking gross, and he brought his 14-year-old there.
Ew.
Fucking hell. IMDb trivia, they did mention for the orgy scenes, and they didn't even refine it because there are quite a lot of orgy scenes. Thank you for the orgy scenes, by the way. They actually got, and I don't even understand the way that IMDb trivia described it, but essentially what they were saying is they got professionals that were used to erotic displays to essentially just roll the camera and have at it. And they would edit out what stars would deem too steamy. Are they essentially a swingers group? Like, the wording of it was so suspicious.
Yeah, that is suspicious.
But there you go. Crixus was a fucking warrior all throughout. It took him a while. That toxic masculinity did get to him. That fueled like 80% of his speeches in season 1.
Yeah.
Trying to whip it out. I don't think I see it in IMDb trivia. Do you think that was Manu's real dick? Why am I saying Manu like a French person? Manu.
Oh, I don't know. Well, if it is, then wow.
It wasn't massive, but it was also quite nice. If that was his real dick, then shout out to him because they obviously could have made a bigger one. No, but that's confidence. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
For sure.
So I don't know what the average size of dick is, but be proud.
Is it not 6.5 inches?
We're not trying to. No, I'm not even going to. We're not. We're not. We are not going to get into that because we are a sophisticated podcast. We're not family friendly, but we do love our daddies, and we do love a Crixus daddy.
Yeah.
Can we just say?
But yeah, so Crixus, Naevia is pretty much his downfall, and it's quite.
Can we stop saying her name? I really don't want to mention her.
Yeah, she's annoying as. And I think they changed. They changed actresses in between seasons. So there you go. I think the new one was a bit hateable as well. So
it's like, okay, we're happy with looking at you, but once we see your face, it's all over.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she's ugly. I'm just saying she had a resting bitch face. That's all I'm saying.
Mm.
And I can relate to that because every body part of me is resting bitch. Okay.
Oh, and who?
Do I get to choose?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Batiatus and Lucretia.
Oh, the power couple.
Right? Can I just say, if we are not Batiatus and Lucretia, what the fuck is all this for?
True. And I keep on telling you, mate, you just have to be a ride or die like Lucretia. Yeah,
but you don't have a Ludus. So in 2019, if you're trying to talk about some illegal activity, that's a whole different story. You can OT bop by yourself.
It doesn't matter what the hell I'm talking about. You need to back my play, mate. Ride or die.
And some of you might think we're having an orgy, but that's actually our dog licking his balls in the background. He actually does that in pretty much every podcast episode. But given what we're covering today,
it adds to the atmosphere.
It's Saturn. Saturn is surrounding the moon right now, licking his bowels.
Yeah. So, Batiatus and Lucretia have this weird dynamic where I feel like Lucretia really loves Batiatus.
She does.
On the other hand, she actually loves Crixus as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Lucretia really loves him, and I don't want to be. Please forgive me if you fit this demographic, but Batiatus was a small, scrawny man. I don't know what he was dealing with in his dick department, and feel free to correct me, but I feel like if Lucretia didn't love him, she would have left, right? In the first season, it was quite clear. It wasn't nuanced. The fact that they were going through a drought and they weren't experiencing any rain, there are direct correlations between the success of their Ludus.
Yeah.
Right? Crixus was really the only lifeblood that they had coming out of that Ludus.
Mm-hmm.
But what did Lucretia do? She stood by there as a G.
Exactly. She stood by Batiatus through the worst.
She fucking loved him.
She did. She really did. And that's where...
Whether you can love someone and also love someone else, we are not getting into that today.
Well, whether it's a human's capacity to love more than one person, who am I to judge?
No, you need to judge because I'm looking at you right now.
No, I'm just putting it out there so that when you find out there's a lot of...
I think we have established that there are many OT babies running around, and I just need to accept that.
Well, the dynamism is quite weird, and how it all works, because you could tell that they have actual deep feelings for each other. And when Batiatus was dying, having been stabbed and slashed, she was there. She was there through it all.
Dude, she was always there. There are times where she would actually be holding the knife with Batiatus. Don't even get it twisted. She was a ride or die forever.
Yeah, until
she even organized those orgy parties for him.
Yeah, until we tell her that Naevia was sleeping with Batiatus. No, with Crixus.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's a philosophical. I guess it is literal. But that is a debate that we are definitely not going to get into today. Everyone has beautiful... Can I just say, Lucy Lawless. I I fucking loved her.
Yeah.
Even before I saw her titties. So you know that's real love.
Mm.
She is all-encompassing, female, everything.
Yeah.
Growing up as a brown girl in Australia, I didn't really feel like anything was for me. You know, Lucy Lawless is white as well, but it doesn't matter. She was a strong woman. And I'm like, how do I sip that?
Wow.
How do I tingle that
So
clitoris?
this is when you're watching Xena Warrior Princess.
Oh, yeah, totally. Are you telling me that in your most formative years, you didn't feel a tingle in your genitals? I can pinpoint that to...
Me watching She-Ra, I wasn't like, oh yeah, I want to tingle her. Nah, man.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Well, you need to wake up to yourself because sexual awakenings are quite common, okay? And I'm telling you, Lucy Lawless was mine.
Oh, wow. That's good to know.
Aside from the fact that you're the most opposite of every aspect of Lucy Lawless,
You don't like my red hair.
just that big throbbing erection. That's the difference. But, everything. Lucy Lawless was everything to me growing up. And seeing her as Lucretia, knowing she's had kids, and that's how she looks, good for her. I probably need to hit the gym, but I'm not going to. So good for you, Lucy Lawless. You look fucking ace.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the sex scene between, it wasn't even a sex scene. I think it was in the first or second episode where you had Batiatus and Lucretia and they were getting wanked off by the slaves. You know what's really funny? Because we've been together for a long time and I can affirm that you were not conservative in that aspect. But when we were watching that just leading up to this episode, you were like, oh, do you think Romans were like that? Yes, motherfucker.
Well,
I think the slaves would
I
actually...
won't repeat what I said. We've moved back as a society.
Why not? Let everyone be sexually liberated.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if that's how people were back then what the fuck happened to us?
Okay, so is this your casting call or...
I'm just saying, mate. I'm throwing it out there. It's out in the ether.
Well, warts and all. There you go, guys.
Oh, what's and all?
This was all a ruse for OT's
Oh yeah, I've been
sexual...
I've been telling her, let's do Spartacus so I can slip
Yeah,
it in.
exactly. You waited over 20 episodes and you're like, okay, this is the right time.
Yeah. Oh, you have to be calculated as that.
OT Asha.
But yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about in terms of Lucretian body artists?
I just want to say that they were in the wordsmith of Sean Paul. They were stuck like glue. And wow. The fact that they were able to achieve so much. Again, we watched that first episode quite recently and we saw from Batiatus' Ludus, he only had Crixus and Barca. Barca. That's it. That's all he had. And Salonius had like 6 or 8 guys.
Salonius is such a shitty guy.
The character development that had to go on.
Yeah, but then again, as much as I did love them, they're pretty shitty people when you come to think about it.
Totally. I wouldn't want them at our dinner party.
Like, they made all the effort to bring Sura back to Spartacus, only to kill her a few minutes before Spartacus actually met her.
We mentioned spoilers, didn't we? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, because that's a big one.
It was ridiculous.
Oh, totally.
It really was, wasn't it?
Let's talk about Salonius, because I feel like we won't be able to, actually, looking at this now, we won't be able to cover all of the characters. That is quite clear.
We'll cover the most important ones.
Let's talk about Salonius, because you mentioned him. Let's talk about him.
So Salonius and Batiatus were best friends.
Yes.
And I think it's always that dynamic where the person that knows you the most can be your worst nemesis. Just like Tupac and Biggie. You know?
You did mention that, but I wasn't sure whether you're going to say it on the podcast. But there you go.
It's just like Tupac and Biggie. People both are too proud to admit.
Who's who, actually? Since you brought that comparison up, who's who?
Oh, party artist would be Tupac for sure.
Actually,
Nah, he'd be Tupac.
no, but there were instances where Tupac was a bit like carefree. Yeah, right. Actually, no. You continue.
Yeah, I reckon party artist would be Tupac and Salonius would be Biggie.
Okay. Is that our first Twitter poll?
Yeah, but it's kind of insane. They were best friends, and them actually just talking about their disagreement would actually solve all this. It was quite stupid.
Yeah.
So it's just the same thing as Tupac and Biggie. All this could have been avoided. Just fucking put your ass down on the seat and talk to each other.
Totally.
But yeah, so
let's I definitely want to pick up on two characters. And I feel like this isn't enough. If you aren't satiated enough, if you are to the point of climax, but you need a bit more, we won't be able to cover that all today. So let's just pinpoint two characters. I'm going to say who I think we should cover, and you can dispute me.
okay.
But as we know, I'm the reigning queen and king, thank you, of the For Your Reference household. So I want to talk about Varro, and I want to talk about Asher. I do want to talk about Onomaus, but he's going to take like 20 minutes. And I do want to talk about Gannicus. He's my motherfucking playboy. Can I just say, Gannicus is the Robbie Williams of the 70th BCE.
I reckon we should cover at least not Varro. Varro is fucking useless.
Oh, come on. Okay, so we'll quickly talk about Varro, but then who are the other two you want to talk about?
So let me just say something about Lethia. Lethia is conniving. She's married to Glaba, who she trusts influence in Rome through her father.
But she knew her place. She knew that she was born out of privilege, and she continued to operate in that way. That was more important to her than her marriage to Glaba.
For sure. Yeah, but she's really conniving in such a way that
totally. It was
completely
disgusting.
manipulable. She slept with a teenage boy. Teenage boy.
Actually, wow, I forgot about that.
To get him to kill Varro, you know, it's fucking insane. The level of depth she went through.
The power of the pussy, my friend.
And the worst bit is, she got to survive it all just because she carried Spartacus's kid and threw that in his face.
Yes, and that was born out of the golden sex scene.
Yeah.
Not the shower, but the golden sex scene. And according to IMDb trivia, apparently they couldn't stop laughing throughout the whole take of that. Yeah. But I think that's like, I feel like we might have said this in another episode, but I feel like, you know how actors pretend like, oh, it's so technical. Nah, man, you fucking enjoyed that.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
Aside from the fact that you're a voyeur and there's like 30 plus like members of the crew watching you, you can't tell me that you didn't get hard. And if you didn't get hard, you're probably insulting the actress.
True. So we'll just talk about Onomaus, Melita, and Gannicus because it's one of the most...
Can I just say that was so wrong?
It was wrong.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like in the series, they showed us Onomaus's backstory.
They did.
And then they showed us with the wife.
Melita.
And then that's when we saw, okay, at first they had to do it because it was a sex orgy.
They were forced, yeah.
Okay. But then, like any animalistic nature, they craved it again and again.
Yeah.
So for a nondescript amount of years, they were fucking each other.
Yeah, I guess once you get that black dick, of course you can go back. That just disproves the point, doesn't it?
Gannicus didn't have a black dick.
Oh, no, Mace had a black dick. She was getting a black dick all along. And then she went on to be forced with Gannicus's and on she went.
I love how accepting you are because the connotation is once you get a black dick, you don't go back. But she kept going back to the white dick.
That's why I said, it disproved the point, didn't it?
Are you advocating for all the dicks?
I'm just saying, Anyway, we have
those that are blessed go and help other people, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
But that was fucked up.
That was really fucked up.
Because
And the fact that they were also best friends.
yes.
Onomaeus and
And that
Gannicus.
added like extra disgusting skeeviness.
I reckon the first minute they were forced, just go to Onomaeus and be like, hey, dude.
Nah.
They're forced to sleep with
Nah.
each other because they know their place. They know
The
their place as
first-
slaves fast.
The first pump, it was all over.
He didn't last
I'm
that
telling
long
you.
either. Yeah,
I'm
I know
tell-
they.
How
Plus,
dare you?
they were giving each other glances as well.
But I'm telling you, my Gannicus was the Robbie Williams of 71 BCE. Or probably before, because Gannicus was a champion before that. But
Plus, he's the only Sparta.
it's the thrill.
He's the only gladiator that was actually freed due to his victories in the arena.
Yes, and can we talk about it? Because the first time that Spartacus came into the Ludus, what did Onomaeus say? What is beneath your feet?
Sand,
What's the right answer?
the blood of those who are before you.
And then Onomaeus continues on a speech of, you need to fuck it. Wait, actually, no, he said that you need to caress it and you need to fuck it. But that's a bit too much for the Onomaeus character.
I don't think
He
it
was
is.
such a gentle, no, but he was such a gentle
He was
soul.
a gentle soul. He really was a gentle soul. And he wanted to believe the best in Batiatus. And the fact that when he learned that Batiatus was actually bad and was involved in the killing of Barca,
Yeah, yes.
that just stunned him all around.
Actually, yes.
And when the whole uprising, and I love the fact that Suru's last words were always, kill them all.
Oh, motherfucker. You can sploosh. You can ejaculate right now because that is the crescendo, my friends.
Yeah, and it kept on playing on Spartacus's head, like, kill them all, kill them all, kill them all. All the Romans, all the enemies, just kill them. Like, it was such a crescendo of a moment in the series.
Oh, totally.
And everything, and you
Kill
just...
them all, kill them all, kill them.
All.
Exactly.
And you just wonder whether or not Crix would fall into play on Onomaeus because those are the strongest people arguably the strongest people in the arena.
Onomaeus went through some motherfucking shit.
He did.
He was in what they call the pits. So it wasn't even the Ludus where they have, hi, nice to meet you. I am shaking your hand, sir.
Carry
Now,
some wood
motherfucker.
and train.
Because that was quaint. Compared to what Onomaeus had to go through, he was in the motherfucking pits. And that's where he met Theocles.
No. That's where he met Batiatus. No, Batiatus is his father. He met Theocles in the actual arena. And that's how he got all these marks and scars. And he couldn't fight anymore. And he was put to be the trainer.
Your will?
My hands.
Fucking Sploosh Mountain.
Yeah.
We're not about being subservient in the For Your Reference household. If you've listened to more than one episode, you would know that we're not a subservient motherfuckers, except for OT sometimes. But he fucking loves
Wish.
it. You fucking love it. But Onomaeus, man, he deserved the world.
He did. He really did. His storyline, he's been battling for everything that he's had.
Totally.
And the fact that his best friend would betray him and the fact that he would get to be the actual Doctore, he couldn't believe it. So he was loyal to a fault until he realized that everything he was serving and everything he believed was all a facade. And the minute he realizes that he helped or he let Spartacus just run rampage on everyone in Rome.
As a man in 2019, Onomaeus was a very honorable man. However, how do you satiate your needs to spill your seed? I'm asking you directly, OT.
What do you mean by that?
For science, I'm asking you, you need to spill your seed, but your wife isn't there. What do?
Onomaeus loved Melita so much. He just stayed like that. He didn't need to spill his...
Melita died. So what have you been doing all those years?
Bloody just use my fucking hands. I'm not gonna find another whore to spill my seeds into.
Well, I'm glad that I'm your only whore. I know my place.
Good.
You know yours, you fucking sub.
Anyway. It's just amazing dynamic. And we need to talk about Asha just because.
We didn't even talk about Varro properly.
Oh, fuck Varro.
No, I just want to mention that Varro is an idiot because he was a free man.
But he had debts. He had to pay the debts somehow.
Whatever. Hello, Jai Courtney. If you would like to come onto this podcast, you're most welcome. We don't know why you kept picking up these teeny bopper movies, but we know through Spartacus that you actually have emotional range. So go back to that. Again, if you want to set the record straight with our handful of listeners, we'll be more than welcome to have you on our show. But I know KT from the For Your Reference podcast in 2019, I know that you have depth to you and you have way more to offer than whatever the fuck you did in that Suicide Squad. Let's move on.
True. I'm not going to even add anything to that. But just talking about Asha, because he played such a pivotal role in Spartacus. He was the grimiest person you could ever meet.
He's the most, I can't think of any movie or any TV show that had the most disgusting, grimy, most self-interest driven character. I cannot think of anyone other than Asha.
Yeah, he played his role to perfection. I feel like part of him is like that in real life.
Oh, yeah, totally. Because, actors talk about, putting on a frock and dancing, but you know most of it is based on how they are in real life.
For sure. And the minute he tries to turn, what's her name? But is this his wife?
Lucretia.
Lucy
Lawless, motherfucker. You will recognize her in our household. How dare you?
He makes Lucretia have sex with him.
Yeah.
It was pretty much rape, but yeah.
It was rape.
Yeah. He is the most
every single time, because there was more than one. It was rape.
Yeah. He is really, really
Can we
disgusting.
also point out that in one of the first episodes of season 1 that Asha was talking to Crixus being like, oh, Spartacus is an idiot. And Crixus is like, you should be in there with them, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, so everyone doesn't like...
respected.
Yeah,
he was not respected, but like a cockroach, through nuclear wars, he found a way to survive.
For sure. And the fact that he actually survived that long...
Gross.
He managed to stab Onomaeus when he wasn't looking, took Onomaeus' eye when they were on the verge of escaping.
I was not ready for that. How dare you motherfucker. I was not. Fucking hell, man, that hurts.
Yeah, that was really grimy stuff there.
For some reason, I thought Gannicus would be Onomaeus' downfall, but maybe that was more of my feels.
But then again, he also was involved in getting Naevia and
he always
Crixus' relationship out to Lucretia.
You even up till now, how dare you?
Sorry.
Lucy?
I didn't watch Xena Brother Princess that much. I didn't watch it at all.
But you watched Hercules, you fucking dick. Lucy Lawless, I am appealing to you as an impressionable little girl. If you ever want to come onto this podcast, I will change it. I will call it For Your Lucy Lawless. Okay? And we'll kick OT out. Because what the fuck, man? Pay your respects.
We love Lucy Lawless.
No, too late. Too late. But coming back to Asha, he is the most disgusting character that I have ever come across. In a TV show or in a movie. What the fuck?
Yeah, for sure. He is beyond even describing.
Even if he shows a kindness to you, like in the earlier episodes where he gave Andy a piece of bread and Andy shared that with Varro, you knew he was coming back to collect that debt.
Yeah, it's all self-serving.
Oh, totally.
It's all self-serving. He doesn't do anything out of the goodness of his heart.
You guys, if you want us to do a bonus episode, let us know because we have so much to say. Fucking hell, man. But that Asha character, what is that? Like that fully like transformed my life in all of the ways that you could ever be transformed.
For sure. For
Fucking
sure.
hell, Jesus Christ. Nick E. Tarabay, you are a Marvel, you are a DC to all, if you'll pardon the arrow, who Manu is also in. Manu
Yeah.
is how my people say it. Wow. What a series. I feel like we did in Inflections talk about previous series, but we were really focusing on the first and second season
Yeah.
because there's so much to cover.
There is so much to cover in this. Like,
There's so much depth that went into this series. According to the creator, Steven, he could have gone 5 seasons, but it was up to Stars to cut it off at 3 seasons. How weird is that? Because you're the leading show in Stars, right? And then you just stop?
sometimes it's better to stop while you're at the top.
You reckon?
I reckon. Plus, it was going downhill somewhat in the 3rd season.
Because of Liam McIntyre.
Not because of Liam McIntyre.
Yeah, whatever.
Come on now.
You. I'll fight you. Let's talk about other Stars series. They might coming up for your reference, but they might not. But they're coming up on our erections right now. So let's say Power is in its last season.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Can we talk? Don't you worry. If you guys are a fan of the Ghost and the Tommy, we will definitely be covering that. Outlander?
Yeah, I tried to get into that, but I just don't see the appeal.
What is it? This isn't even for the podcast. I genuinely don't know what it is.
The first time I heard about it, I thought, oh, Highlander. And I watched Highlander growing up, and I thought it was something similar. And then when I watched it, I was like, what the fuck is this? But
one word can make a difference, apparently.
Yeah.
Ooh, American Gods, which we've recently started to, as we call it, the reheat special. We've started to try and watch again.
We have.
I fucking love Ian McShane. You're welcome to our podcast as well. We also have the Girlfriend Experience, Black Sails, Ash versus Evil Dead. So there's been a lot, essentially. I guess the whole point is there's been a lot that's come out of Stars, but Spartacus will also always shine the brightest.
It really would. Like, they've done a lot of good things on there, but Spartacus definitely shines.
Definitely. And I think we've cut it off quite cleanly, even though there's so many characters we need to cover off. But I would prefer that we just leave it instead of just haphazardly trying to cover them off.
Yeah, so we do For Your Reference.
Hey, it's For Your Reference. OT, I'll let you go first.
So I would recommend Rome.
Nice. Actually, nice.
Rome is quite good.
Yes.
And the fact that it was cancelled after 2 seasons doesn't even make sense. It's a story about Pullo, who's a Roman soldier, and he just navigates with his best friend who's a commander. Can't remember his name right now, but it's such a good show. It's similar to Spartacus in the same setting and aesthetics.
Yeah.
But
so Veronius is the main character.
Veronius.
And then Pullo is the sidekick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we follow Pullo all the way. We're Team Pullo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're Team Pullo for
He's
sure.
like the Gannicus of the show, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. And it's weird that it got cut off so early because, we've got an episode of Deadwood or Daddywood, if you're nasty. And Deadwood was actually supposed to be set in ancient Rome. So it's quite sad that the actual Rome series that was being developed at the time got cut off quite short.
Yeah.
It should have went on for seasons.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's a lot of history to be told, right? But yes, I endorse your recommendation. So,
all right, what are you gonna recommend?
I will reference Zack Snyder's 300. Steven, the creator of Spartacus, also mentioned that the networks were trying to have a 300-esque sort of series. So that's why you'll see, especially in the pilot episode, how, and I know people use this word left, right, and to your mother's asshole. But gratuitous is a word that has actual meaning. And the first episode of Spartacus, just like Jack Snyder, in some delicious morsels, but also in a most real sense, is gratuitous. Right?
It really is, yeah.
And just by the fact that it was kind of slated to be that, and Stephen had to fight for the fact that it's like, actually, no, this story, this narrative is good enough as is. Let's continue the way that we're going right now. I would recommend that you watch 300 because you better believe it. Hold on to your strap-ons and strap in because we will definitely cover 300 one of these days. The Battle of Thermopylae, son, we are definitely going to cover it.
Yeah, that's really good.
Thank you so much, guys. You know, like war, there were a lot of casualties we had along the way that we didn't cover, but we made it.
We did.
To the end of the episode. More so Blood and Sand and Gods of the Arena. But if you guys fucking love Spartacus and you want to hear more about it, especially that 14-looking-year-old that was in that fucking sex scene, let's get to it. But that's it for this week. Let's satiate you at least this much. On Twitter and Instagram, we're For Your Ref Pod.
And on email, you can find us on hello@fyipodcast.com.
Thank you so much for your love. If you want to find us on Apple Podcasts because you love us so much, please leave a rating and also a review, hopefully a 5-star. But you know, our world is in your hands, just like the gladiators. And we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Up Jupiter's cock!